What is crypto lending and borrowing? What is the power and the potential of it? And what are the risks involved? Because crypto lending is relatively complex in practice and isn't without its risks. So please, as always, educate yourself fully before you attempt it if it's something you're interested in. And if you're not sure about the DeFi space in general, I did an introduction to DeFi video that you can see a link to here, and I've included it in the description also. So please do like this video and subscribe to the channel so I can continue to offer more content for you in future. And let's jump straight in and take a look at crypto lending in more detail. So what is crypto lending and what are the main aims of it? Well, put simply, crypto lending in DeFi is where you take a loan from a decentralized money market protocol, or DeFi platform in other words. And that loan could be in the form of crypto, such as BTC, ETH, BNB, SOL, etc. Or as a stablecoin, such as USDT, USDC, DAI, etc. And to be able to take out a loan, you'd need to add collateral, or in other words, add crypto, onto the platform against the loan that you're taking out. This is what protects the money market protocol financially. And how much collateral do you have to put down? Well, you're often allowed to borrow up to about 70 or 80% against the crypto you've put down on the platform as collateral. You'd have to check the money market protocol or website that would tell you this specific information. So if you put down 1 BTC, let's say, as collateral, just as an example, let's say for the sake of the numbers, that's worth $50,000, then you'd be able to borrow a maximum of, let's say, 80% against this, which would be $40,000 worth of crypto. And that wouldn't have to be in BTC. You could use that $40,000 to borrow another crypto or stablecoin. However, this leads us on to the first risk of crypto lending, which is leverage and liquidation. Because if we go back to our previous example that you can see here, we can see that the current price of 1 BTC that we've put down on the DeFi platform is $50,000. However, as we know, the price of cryptocurrencies is pretty volatile. So what happens if the price of BTC drops by 5% in one day, let's say? And it actually dropped more than this on the 3rd of January 2024. Well, 1 BTC would now be worth $47,500 instead of $50,000. And therefore, the amount that we'd borrowed of $40,000 would now be over the 80% maximum that was allowed. And this figure actually rises to 84.2%. In that case, you risk being liquidated because the money market protocol will take steps to ensure it doesn't lose out financially. So in other words, to ensure that the price of the BTC you've put down as collateral doesn't drop below how much it's lent to you. And the way it does this is by selling some of your assets, BTC in this case. And we've seen drops of much more than 50% previously for Bitcoin, not 5%. And that's just talking about Bitcoin. So hopefully you can see why there are liquidations here. So this is a risk, and I would advise you to have a clear strategy before getting into crypto lending. And just to give you a bit of an idea, I tend to advise the people I work with to generally borrow about 40% against what they've put down, which allows for some leeway in price or volatility, because it can be quite stressful checking the website every day, worrying that the price might drop and you might get liquidated because you might become a bit over leveraged. However, this will depend on how much capital and crypto you have spare, because you may have to add more liquidity as collateral against your loan to ensure you're not liquidated moving forward. And it also depends obviously on your risk tolerance. The next caution I would suggest is about the psychology and the time involved with crypto lending, as I've just alluded to really, because you'll need to be able to devote time checking the DeFi website and platform regularly. So a minimum of a couple of times per week probably, again depending on your borrowing and liquidation levels. And if you are someone who might panic or get stressed with this, then you'll probably want to borrow a smaller amount, which will make you feel more at ease if the price of the cryptocurrency that you've added as collateral, if that drops. But money market protocols and DeFi websites are changing, and they're being updated all of the time, to the extent that I had a call with someone one day We were looking at a particular platform where they were adding liquidity as collateral against a loan, and we spoke again the next day and the website had completely changed again. So you'll want to visit them regularly and keep a close eye on your borrowings, your repayments, the APY, etc. And finally, your funds could be at risk if the DeFi platform's attacked. So you need to do your own research fully before using a decentralized money market protocol. I would also advise having someone knowledgeable who you trust look over your shoulder while you're doing this, and think about starting off with potentially smaller amounts. So having covered some of the risks and disadvantages of crypto lending, the question is, why use crypto lending? And what are the advantages of it? Well, the first and most obvious advantage of crypto lending is to be able to hold onto your crypto for longer and make your crypto work for you rather than you potentially having to sell it. Because let's say you had one BTC as before, rather than needing to sell this for fiat, if you needed to financially for whatever reason, you could add this BTC as collateral and get a loan against it. You would therefore still have your one BTC, but could use the loan for what you needed to, and I'll come back to this in a bit when I go through an example. You could also reduce your tax burden through getting a crypto loan, if that's something you'd be looking to do, if you made gains, if you live somewhere that's quite heavily implementing crypto regulation, like the UK and the US, for example, as you wouldn't be selling as much of your crypto for profit and you don't pay tax on debt. Although it is always worth getting your tax checked out by a qualified accountant who specializes or knows about the crypto rules and regulations, as there are quite confusing tax rules detailed about loans and DeFi loans, with some jurisdictions trying to treat some of it as taxable. For example, when you stake your crypto as collateral, and if the crypto lending platform rewards you with tokens as a result. But it's not clear how governments are planning to be able to enforce this, which frankly speaking, I'm sure everyone watching this video hopes they don't. You could also avoid using traditional and centralized lending institutions like banks, for example, because with the power of DeFi, crypto lending is open to everyone. It's open to all. You don't need a bank account, a good credit score or history to provide proof of who you are, how much you earn, or where you're from. You simply need to have crypto to put down as collateral. It uses self-executing smart contracts, so you can access this 24/7, not just when banks or call centers, for example, are open. And you can do this from home. You'll get the loan straight away, and it essentially avoids a lot of the hassle getting a loan using TradFi or the traditional financial system we're used to. There are also normally no loan timeframes, so you wouldn't have to pay the loan back over a certain period of time, which you often have to do with centralized lending organizations. And let's now look at an example of crypto lending. Let's say you have one BTC valued at $50,000, which I'll just use again as the example to make it straightforward in this video. Firstly, in my opinion, the crypto market conditions need to be favorable in order for crypto lending to be at its most effective. But let's assume that, and you put that Bitcoin down as collateral on a DeFi lending platform against a loan. You might earn, say, 3% on this as interest by staking it, which is roughly $1,500 you're making per year in BTC. And I'm using dollars and fiat values here just to make it easier to show as an example in this video. And one idea is to then borrow against the BTC you've put down. So let's say you borrow $20,000 worth of a stable coin against this BTC, which would be 40% loan to value or LTV, and you're paying 5% on that loan. So you're paying $1,000 in interest on your loan per year, but you're making $1,500 per year on the collateral you've put down. So not only do you keep your one BTC rather than sell it, you get a loan of $20,000 worth of stablecoin on top, and you're paying this off automatically without doing anything at $500 per year. So essentially your debt isn't increasing, but it's decreasing albeit very slowly. And the question then is, what will you do with the $20,000 worth of stablecoin? Spend it on something you need, or put it to use and work for you even more in future? For example, by using it to invest further and increase your wealth even more. Because if you've seen my video on adopting a millionaire mindset and asking what to do if you had 100,000, you'll know I advocate investing it wherever possible. And you can see a link to that video here and in the description. But if not, you've still got $20,000 to spend. And this example doesn't take into account the increase of price over time of the 1 BTC that you've kept as collateral, which should pay off your loan, or you add more collateral and borrow more in future, or possibly earning some native tokens of the DeFi lending protocol you're using, and they often give some incentives for using their platform such as that. And that, to put it simply, is the power of crypto lending. However, I do again have to say that this isn't financial advice, and there are many risks to crypto lending, most of which I've covered in this video. So if you're interested in doing this, please invest in your education, and ideally do it with someone looking over your shoulder. And finally, where can you actually go to access crypto lending? Well, let's take a look at the top 10 DeFi lending platforms by TVL, or total value locked, according to DeFi Llama, with Aave being the leader with the most value added to it of all DeFi lenders. And Aave is actually on its 3rd version, originally operating on Ethereum, but it's also now available on 9 other blockchains, which are Avalanche, Polygon, Phantom, Optimism, Arbitrum, Base, Harmony, Metis, and Gnosis. In 2nd place is Just Lend, which is on Tron. 3rd is Compound Finance, which is on Ethereum, Polygon, Base, and Arbitrum. 4th is Spark, which is on Ethereum and Gnosis. And 5th is Venus, which is on the BNB chain. So that ends this video looking at crypto lending. But as always, I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. And if you're interested in more of a tailored approach to your crypto education, including crypto lending, and you think you'd benefit from having someone look over your shoulder and guide you on your journey, I do offer one-to-one coaching to those who have the desire and the means to educate themselves further. And there are links in the description where you can message me and book in a free video call to see if we'd be a good fit. And if you found this content interesting, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really does help. And have a great day.